Another day, another reaction. This time Bulgaria, geography now. Let's get into the video and don't mind me, don't mind my voice. I'm a little bit sick. Let's get right into it.
Bulgaria, Bulgaria, Bulgaria. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, Victor Crumb from the Harry Potter books. Yeah.
Who? Who is this guy, bro?
You're welcome. Yeah, now you want to watch this episode, right?
It's time to learn geography.
No.
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. I'd like to take this moment to coin a term, tripster. A tripster is a travel hipster, someone who is so over the mainstream tourist destinations and they only prefer to go to the bleakest, most obscure regions of the planet. That being said, tripsters watching this video, take notes.
But I can understand that though. I can understand that sentiment though, because I hate touristy destinations. Or I don't hate them, but tourists are annoying even to me because a lot of tourists just don't know how to act properly and have no regard for the country they're in and treat it like as their kind of playground. I mean, it's not all tourists, but they're definitely a lot. Okay, and I saw that in like my vacation or my trip to Japan. I was in Japan, and oh my goodness, I heard so many loud and obnoxious Americans. It is crazy. They were I don't know, 1% of the people there or even less, but you noticed them like they were 100 times of the population. They were so annoying. Like, oh my goodness. Especially in the hotel, because we obviously stayed in a hotel and there were a lot of Americans in that hotel, and annoying is all I can say. And also a Dutch dude that was also super annoying. There was like one Dutch dude, and for some reason he went to all the places we went, and he was so obnoxious and loud the whole time. Like bro. And of course, I knew it was a Dutch guy because he spoke like weird German.
Also, let's dissect the flag. The flag is a tricolor consisting of three equally
Boring tricolor. Like, I'm so fed up over these tricolor flags. Just put anything of your on your flag, like your coat of arms. I don't care. Put anything on your flag to make it a little bit more unique. Like, look at this. It's boring. Can't even jerk off to this. Like, I guess it looks good for a tricolor, but it's still a tricolor at the end of the day.
sized horizontal bands, white, green, and red. When it comes
You
to
don't even have to put a symbol on it. You can like go make it a little bit more distinct and unique. Wait, let me show you. One country that has a unique flag just by colors. Wait, I forgot the name of the. Wait. No, I've got it again. Here, look at this. This is the South Africa flag, and all they use is colors. And look at this, they have like this Y symbol, like a little bit to the side. Then here black a little bit, and it looks good. And they only use colors. Like, you can do something with only colors. You can do something cool, but a lot of these like flags that just use colors are boring, like tricolors. I mean, you don't have, like, if you want a tricolor, put a symbol on it, easy peasy. But if you want to only use colors, do something like the South Africans. Or I think the Seychelles also have a cool flag. Wait. Yeah, look at this. This is a Seychelles flag. It's simple, it's neat, but it looks unique and it's cool.
symbolism, even Bulgarians themselves aren't 100% sure exactly what each band means. However, it's generally accepted that they are inspired by the Pan-Slav nationalist movement colors. However, it's also kind of accepted that these are the definitions. The white represents love and peace and freedom and spirituality. The green represents the youthfulness as a new liberated state, agriculture, character, and the beauty of nature. And the red represents the valor and, once again, the blood spilled of those who fought for the country and for the heroes of Bulgaria. Okay, that was kind of easy. Moving on. Very few people actually know where Bulgaria is on a map, but when you look at it, you'll kind
What? I don't know. I think a lot of people in Europe would know. I mean, maybe outside of Europe, maybe, but I would say in Europe it's pretty known where it lies. Over Turkey, under Romania, next to North Macedonia, also over Greece, next to also a little bit Serbia.
I realize that its position is kind of important to the entire continent of Europe. First of all, Bulgaria is located on the eastern part of the Balkan Peninsula, bordered by 5 other countries and the Black Sea to the east. Since Bulgaria is Europe's closest point to Turkey, it's kind of seen as like the crossroads between Europe and Asia. The capital is Sofia, located in the west, and the country is divided into 28 provinces, and the capital Sofia acts as its own province as well. Sofia has a wonderfully unique ambiance as a city that still retains its residue shavings from the former Soviet identity, but with a modern westernized democratic appeal that exudes through the billboards and media. About 80% of the border with Romania rests on the mighty Danube River, and the borders with Serbia, Macedonia, or the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and Greece rest on the mountains and hills like the Balkan Range, the Pirin Range, and the Rhodope Range. Bulgaria is very lucky because in addition to having a nice
Balkan Rage. Sorry.
geological mountainous shell to encapsulate the eastern side, they have a wonderful Black Sea to the east, which has played a heavily influential role in the development of the Bulgarian nation. The coast is classified as a humid subtropical climate zone with an abundance of pristine golden beaches, the most popular ones off the coast of Varna and Burgas.
Oh, Varna. I know Varna, man. Is the Battle of Varna, 1444, 10th November. The Ottomans defeated the Crusaders. Very important battle in the history of Europe and the Ottomans. Here, Battle of Varna. Look at this. The Battle of Varna took place on 10th November near Varna in what is today eastern Bulgaria. The Ottoman army under Sultan defeated the Crusaders, commanded. Yeah, very important battle. I only know about it because it happens directly before EU4.
In the Black Sea, Bulgaria owns 5 small islands and islets, each named after a saint and each with a unique charm and backstory. For example, St. Thomas Island is one of the only places in all of Bulgaria where cacti grow. St. Ivan Island, which supposedly has the remains of John the Baptist from the Bible, and St. Anastasia Island, which had a jail that prisoners escaped from long ago. Bulgaria's land comprises of a lot of history, to say the very least. In the south, by the Gorna Krepost, you have the Perperikon, the Thracian city ruins of the strange ancient culture of the Thracians. In Kazanluk, you have the Thracian tomb of Kazanlak. Yeah, the ancient culture of Thrace had kind of a lot to do with this area. Nobody quite exactly knows what the downfall of the Thracians were, but reading into historical accounts on how they acted on a regular basis, it's not that hard to speculate on a few probable theories. We're sociopaths. Yes, you are, Thrace. Yes, you are. Now, of course, the monuments tell a funny story, but the natural land formations get even crazier. The Bulgarians have a saying: when God divided up the nations amongst the people, the Bulgarians were late, so instead God gave them a piece of heaven. Now, whether or not
I don't know. I don't know if I would call Bulgaria a piece of heaven. I mean, the nature is beautiful, the landscape is beautiful, but I mean,
you agree or disagree with that, you can't deny the fact that Bulgaria does have some pretty nice grounds. First of all, the country is divided into 2 general topographical areas: the mountainous east with the Balkan, Rila, and Rhodope ranges, and the low-lying flatter Danube Valley and the Gorno-Trakiska lowlands, in which multiple rivers and lakes can be found, in addition to the majority of agriculture plots and grazeland for livestock. Speaking of which, if there's one thing that Bulgarians are proud of, and I'm not even joking, every single Bulgarian I talk to has mentioned this, it would be their unique yogurt. Now, a lot of countries make great yogurt, and people will tell you that the Balkans was actually the birthplace of yogurt. However, Bulgaria
yeah, the Bulgarians love to say they invented yogurt. Whenever you say Greek yogurt in front of a Bulgarian, he will be like, "No, you mean Bulgarian yogurt." Personally, I don't know. There are multiple origin places that it could have been like originally invented in, and it's always hard to say where something that is so old has been invented. And in general, it's hard to say what country made what food, like invented what dish. That's often very hard to figure out because, well, a lot of the times food doesn't stay only in one country. So yeah.
Bulgaria is the only place in the world where the yogurt is fermented with the lactobacillus
But I can understand them being proud of their yogurt, because yogurt is, oh my goodness, so delicious. I love yogurt. Yogurts are so goated, especially something like Greek yogurt, something with with low fat, high protein, very good, cheap, and filling. Very good if you wanna like not eat that much, not eat that many calories. Greek yogurt and skyr and stuff like that is very good. Trust me, I did it. I did it.
bulgaricus
I did the Greek yogurt diet, and it's a pretty good diet. I can tell you that. I lost like 10 kilos because I was like after COVID, I was like a little bit overweight. So I started the Greek yogurt diet because I was like, damn, it's amazing to lose weight. And then I switched over to the skyr diet because skyr was even better, and lost 10 kilos. Easy peasy.
culture that is only found in the air of Bulgaria. This bacterium gives the yogurt a distinct twang and flavor unlike any other yogurt, and with the milk coming from cows or sheep that typically graze off of high herb-rich pastures, enriching the product with even more health benefits. You come to Bulgaria, we don't mess with our dairy products. You buy it, you buy it! Of course, you also have the Black Sea, which Bulgaria has been dependent on for centuries for trade and business, but also has been capitalizing on for tourism. Many Europeans consider the Black Sea coast as kind of like their secret getaway spot that nobody really knows about, because everybody's so concerned about thinking that Barcelona and Nice are the only places that you can go to. Ugh, Valencia? I've been so over that for years. I prefer Burgos. Of course, you've probably never heard of that. Now, here's the cool thing. Because of natural borders by mountains, in conjunction with wind and weather patterns and water flow, Bulgaria is home to a wide variety of entertainingly strange natural landmarks, such as the Belogradchik eroded rock cliffs, the stone mushrooms of Beliplast, the Popti Kamani stones. Also keep in mind the Popti Kamani area, in addition to the Tabernas region of Spain, is one of the only two naturally occurring deserts in all of Europe. And then we get to something that Bulgaria is definitely not in short supply of: caves and waterfalls. We reach places like the Devil's Throat Cave with the world's highest underground
The Devil's Throat Cave, man. The Throat Goat Cave.
waterfall, the Devatashka Cave with holes in its ceiling, the Eyes of God Cave in Prohodna. In fact, Bulgaria has over 4,500 charted caves in its entire country. Also, keep in mind, 32 of the 37 species of bats in Europe call Bulgaria home. So if there's one thing you can take away from this, it's that Bulgaria is a very cavey place. Waterfalls also speckle the landscape, mostly in the eastern mountainous regions. The tallest one in the Balkans being the Resko Praskalo, the picturesque Krushuna Falls, and the town with the most fortunate fairy tale view, Vrasta, which has the Skaklia, a waterfall looming above their skyline on the
Damn.
mountain, ever flowing from the cliffs adjacent.
That looks beautiful. I might have to visit that someday.
Adjacent to the direct vicinity of their town. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I just can't even. Now, if you ask Bulgarians, one more thing that they'll tell you that they're proud of is their roses. Roses are cultivated all across the entire country, but most heavily in the Rose Valley, just below the Balkan mountain range. Bulgaria produces over 70% of the world's rose oil, a substance used by pressing on the petals and also most commonly used in perfumery. They have so many roses that typically the abundance allows them to have rose festivals in which they parade around with roses, have a rose queen beauty contest, and they kind of just end up dancing around and throw roses all over the place. Kind of like the La Tomatina festival in Spain, except it's a lot cleaner and more better smelling. Wow, that's the second time we've contrasted Bulgaria with Spain. Let's see if there's any more parallels in. Now, Bulgarians may be Slavic, well, kind of, we'll explain more about that in a bit, but they definitely have their own Bulgarian way of doing things. Bulgaria has a population of about 7.5 million people, most of whom identify as ethnically Bulgarian.
Okay, fact check 2024. What is the population of Bulgaria? Bulgaria population. Wait. Their population has been decreasing. Oh my goodness. 2 million people less in Bulgaria. Okay, this is actually crazy. What the fuck? What happened? I mean, I know what happened after like the Iron Curtain got lifted. They probably like left Bulgaria because it was a mess. And Bulgaria is not a rich country. So it makes sense, but still, it's scary. That many people. The fuck.
At about 85%, 9% of the population being Turks, about 5% are Roma, commonly referred to as gypsies, making Bulgaria the country with the third highest gypsy population, and the remainder of the country coming from other nationalities. Now, here's the sad thing. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, Bulgaria has one of the highest population declines in the world. They used to have around 9 million people back in 1990, but since then the emigration and death rate has surged past the population growth rate, and since
Yeah, and now it's below 6.5 million, man. That is actually crazy, man.
Since then, Bulgaria has seen a rather alarming population decline in the past few decades. This all had to do partially with company privatization and the social structure investments going completely out of whack after independence from the former Soviet Union. Statistics project that about 60,000 people leave Bulgaria every year, and in 2012, 24 towns were completely wiped off the map as they were completely abandoned, and about 170 towns are on the verge of extinction. The good news, though, is that this makes Bulgaria one of the perfect places for cheap shopping, real estate, business, and cheap vacation getaways. In fact, since
Such a good thing. It makes Bulgaria a cheap place to go. Wow.
recently joining the EU and NATO, which has, by the way, caused a lot of controversy, Bulgaria has seen a completely unprecedented level of tourism and business booming. Yeah, economic nerds, Bulgaria is the kind of place where you might want to consider pulling a Warren Buffett. I'm just saying. Ethnic Bulgarian people will tell you that they have roots from the Bulgar tribes, which nomadically came from the eastern regions of Eurasia, as far speculated as the Central Asian regions, until they eventually settled down into what is now known as modern Ukraine. Eventually they came down and mixed in with the Slavs and formed Bulgaria. So technically, a lot of people in Bulgaria could have Central Asian roots, and considering how far the Huns extended their reaches, that's not completely out of the question. Culture-wise, Bulgaria is proud to proclaim itself as the birthplace of the Cyrillic alphabet, used by over 250 million people in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, extending as far as Mongolia. Oh, and one more thing, just like we talked about in an earlier video, like some regions in Albania, Bulgaria is one of the only few places in the world where people shake their head to say yes and nod their heads to say no. Now let's talk about the people Bulgaria interacts with. Now, Bulgaria has one of the most anomalous core of companions that you would never really expect them to engage with comfortably. First off, the strange thing is, in 2004, in addition to other former Soviet states, Bulgaria took a bold step and joined NATO, and 3 years later joined the EU. This was kind of a big deal considering the Soviet-linked past.
I mean, it makes sense. They're not that far away from, like, the Russians and the Turks. And if you know about history, you know that Bulgaria had some minor conflicts with the Ottomans, maybe with the Russians, maybe. Who knows?
And the ties that Bulgaria was rooted in. This move also opened up Bulgaria's diplomacy to unparalleled standards that they never really had before. All this kind of puts Bulgaria in a very unique intercessory class status when it comes to East versus West. Typically, Bulgaria will kind of act as like a mediator for the EU and NATO when it comes to cross-operational engagements. When it comes to the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, commonly referred to as just Macedonia, Bulgaria has a strange relationship. By all means, these two countries speak the same language.
And now it's called North Macedonia because Greece was like, nah, call yourself North Macedonia because Greece has also a part of their country, or like a state or a region in their country is called Macedonia, and they were like, nah, that will confuse people. Call yourself North Macedonia. And then, like, of course, North Macedonia caved because they're weak, very weak compared to Greece. So yeah, but I think it's still so fucking funny. Like, what?
And have pretty similar backgrounds as Slavic nations. The problem is where things went down about 80 years ago. Basically, this is what Bulgaria says. Look, Macedonia, we want to love you guys. You're basically just...
That's like if Belgium would tell Luxembourg, we have this region in Belgium called Luxembourg that we stole from you guys 100 years, or now it's like nearly 200 years ago. But could you call yourselves East Luxembourg so people don't get confused?
Bulgarians, but you've been brainwashed by Georgy Pilevsky into thinking you have some kind of indigenous Hellenistic roots. You don't. You're Bulgarians. Just accept it. To which the Macedonians say, shut up, Bulgaria. You don't know us. Okay, we are descended from Alexander the Great. You belong to Macedonia. I don't want to say it's kind of like the North-South Korea thing because it's nowhere near that level of animosity, but in a fundamental sense, ideologically, it is.
It's funny because let me pull it up. This is where Alexander the Great was born, which is in modern day Greece. Wait, where can I find a better? Was born in Pelia. Pelia map. What the fuck? Look at this. This is where Pella is, or where he was born. Modern day Greece. So that's always the funny thing to me. Like Alexander the Great wasn't even born in your country.
Kind of like the North-South Korea thing. They generally do not favor Turkey that much because for 500 years they were under the Ottoman Empire and they pretty much hated every second of it. It wasn't until the 19th century when they finally gained their independence with the help of the Russians fighting alongside with them. This means that Russia is kind of seen as
Man, what the fuck was that animation?
the brother friend of Bulgaria. Even though in every aligned organizational sense they kind of took every step away from Russia, and even though they were kind of taken over by the Soviets for a long time, tensions are low and they still get along great. However, Romania is kind of seen as like the new boyfriend that Bulgaria just started dating. Especially after joining the EU, relations grew fast, the presidents regularly visit each other and hang out, business is great, ferries and bridges connect the two countries across
Private, they hang out in private as well.
Danube, where people love to visit each other, and Romanian-Bulgarian marriages are not uncommon. In conclusion, wax your mustaches and put on your skinny jeans because if you are so over the mainstream, you might want to just stop by and smell the roses. Stay tuned, Burkina Faso.
I mean, Bulgaria is definitely worth a visit. I think it's pretty cool, but I've only knew one person that lived in Bulgaria, and that was a girl in my school. She lived in Bulgaria for a short amount of time, and she said she hated it because the food was the worst thing she's ever tasted. So that was probably not the best representative, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out Geography Now like always. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to. See you in the next video. Bye.